Hi everyone and welcome back to Nick's Home Renovation. I am in my 1936 bungalow renovation. In fact, kind of can't call it that anymore because we have stairs and we have a sort of insulated finished loft space, so more of a house now than a bungalow. But anyway, I'm gonna have to stick with 1936 bungalow renovation as it's all over my Instagram and on here, so that's what it is. So really been busy the last couple of weeks, really pleased with what's going on here. I'll take you on a walk around in a second, but we've been insulating everywhere. We're 95% finished the insulation, so wall insulation everywhere in the floors. This extra firm rigid insulation you can see behind me in the loft, loads, about 8 or 9 days work just in this one loft room of insulating. I'll explain why later. The plumber's been here doing lots of first fix, and there's lots of carpentry works and electrical works and lots of exciting things to come as well, which I'll tell you at the end. So let me take you on a little tour and I'll talk through everything what we've been up to. So this is starting to look a lot more like a room, and you can see now our lovely staircase. So now it's a bit easier to envisage this room coming up the stairs here and then coming into this lovely long open space. I'm really pleased with how this is turning out. You can see that we've boarded, this is just temporarily leaning against the wall, but we've boarded out this wall here, and we are yet to do this side because of the plumber's pipes, which are down here behind this insulation that need doing. So that wall can be done once the plumbers finish those pipes. Next week, I'm glad to say next weekend, there's the beginning of the windows going in. So I'm really excited by that because this room is actually lovely and bright as it is. And we've actually got, what, 50%, 60% of this shut off right here. So here we're having an all glass Juliet balcony. And I'm really excited to get that in, to hopefully one day get a view of a nice garden, but it's certainly not a nice garden as it stands, but hopefully in the future. And then looking back towards here, you can see what a nice long space it is. So what I've done electrically is, just see over there, but I've envisaged the bed being here. The reason I've done that is because I didn't want it under any of the windows, because if it's raining it'd be very annoying. And I'm planning on having wardrobes in this section here. My carpenter said to lower this ashlar wall, give you lots of space for wardrobes in this stair section, and then leaving this wall higher to sit a bed against, and lots of other storage opportunities as well. So I've put a socket and a switch either side. So this switch does the main lights, and it also has the possibility to add a light either side of the bed as well, if necessary, which is probably what I would do. Either you could have a lamp via the socket or a switch via a wall light or something higher up, or a reading light. So that's where the bed is, and then this socket down the end, I'm going to have one either side just in case, you know, a dressing table or a lamp or a chair or whatever can go down the end. So there's one socket over there, one opposite the bed for a TV with a Cat6 cable in, and there's a radiator behind here as well, behind this plasterboard. So you can see we've brought the plasterboard up because this is one full sheet and skirting's going along the bottom, so no need to plasterboard that there. And you can see my main lights running down the middle as well. Just to show you what is left over here and what we've been doing with the insulation. So this is 200 millimeters of wall insulation in the floor, all the way down both sides. A lot of work. Got to tidy it all up a bit, and we haven't done this one because this is where the plumber's doing all of his pipes, which is the boiler below in the utility room, and the boiler will eventually be vented up into this roof where the roofer has adapted a tile, so it vents out of the roof there. So we've got all this space to do that. Once he's done that, I can insulate in there, put the ashlar wall insulation back up, put the insulation across the front as well again, and then plasterboard. So lots and lots and lots of layers Down here I've made a storage space because this side has way more storage. Again, you can see all the way down there. I've got the insulation in the roof, in the rafters, and the insulation in the floor. This is 100mm in the rafters and 200mm in the floor. And I've just got to do this section here because this ceiling's only just gone in this week. So this basically is going to be lots of storage space. So I'm going to put some chipboard or some sort of strong board down there, as there's no more loft space. I think everyone needs space for Christmas trees and suitcases and things like that. So I'll have a little door in there at one stage with a radiator there, making sure that opens okay. This is going to be the bathroom up here, or ensuite. Again, I've put 2 cubby holes in there, and the reason I've done that, so you ignore the top, that will be insulated at one point. I think to give it a bit of pizzazz. So I've sort of done a complete 180 in here. I was going to have a shower, but the more we looked at it, it just dominates the whole room. It makes walking, either having this as a wet room or walking round it to get to the toilet and the sink over here, it just didn't work. And then you sort of have this as a dead space unless you had a bath and a shower, which just seems overkill for such a small room with all these funny angles everywhere. So I'm going to have a freestanding bath here. This cubby hole will be, you know, for shampoos and shower gels, things like that. And then this one, I quite liked it as a bit of symmetry. I'm going to put lights in both, and I think that'll look quite cool for something decorative over there. And then toilet has to go here because of the waste going out that way. And sink I'm having here on this wall, because you've got the nice extra height over the Velux and natural light, having it here, which is why you can see these pipes loosely in place, leaving the towel rail over here on this wall. Eagle-eyed people will see this plasterboard is green, so this is moisture plasterboard you use in bathrooms for obvious reason. It's slightly heavier and slightly more expensive, makes it a bit more hard work. And then again, once the plumber's done all of his pipes, all of these walls will be insulated. These ones have been insulated here, but again, needs to go at a right angle across, and then plasterboarded as well. So upstairs, this is an incredible amount of work. Probably 8 or 9 days of insulating and plasterboarding, mostly on my own, but I've had a little bit of help in the last week or so. Coming down the new stairs, and I can't tell you how exciting it is to have stairs. Again, you can see all my insulating here, still lots to do, but that's in the rafters over the old garage extension. And I've had to put 300mm down there because building control wanted 270mm over the old garage. So I'll eventually, that is the ensuite over there, I'll eventually put in 300 above there, above the ensuite as well, and then also on this flat roof here, all in these rafters, because as you can imagine, this is where the cold air would come in, so we need that insulation to stop that. And again, I've insulated both sides, and these cables down here will eventually be for my bathroom fans and things like that. So let me show you the stairs. How something like simple like stairs can be so satisfying, but it's so good not to climb a ladder that has been very, very overused for something that is so old. So this is actually, the builder ordered this from a company that literally makes them bespoke. You give them the measurements and they literally just slot in, and it took the builders 2 or 3 hours just to fix everything. So that's pretty cool. They say it's about half the price of doing it through an actual carpenter. I'm actually loving this this wall, where this used to be the old fireplace. We had a fireplace going down here and then a fireplace in this front bedroom, and you can see that's the chimney, where the chimney used to be, but unfortunately I can't keep it for a multitude of reasons. I don't think it will look that good with all these little black bits and the steel up there, but you've also got these bars supporting the wood and the roof and everything. But I think it's quite cool, what a nice feature, but shame to cover it up. This is probably the most finished room in the house. So we're at the back of the old garage in one of the bedrooms. You can see we've got the red plasterboard over where the steel was, so you use red plasterboard over steel work. It's basically fireproof, or as much as possible. and the logic behind that is if there was a fire, it takes longer to burn, longer to damage the steel, and hopefully the house would stay up for longer if the steel was staying structurally sound. And then all 4 walls are now plastered, plaster boarded, sorry, I wish they were plastered. Again, I've put the bed here, light switch over there, obviously with the door swinging this way. Got a socket and a Cat 6 on the wall for TV and internet and things, and then socket down here, which I don't think is much use, but a stud wall, so I thought fairly easy, and then one in the corner. Over here we've got the plumber's pipework, which will be a 1000 radiator under there. We're going for the traditional 2-column radiators, and then you can see some of the plumber's stuff here. So this is his stuff running to the other side of this wall, which is the utility room. So he's really cracking on, but he's going to be here all this bank holiday weekend. Starting at the front of the house, so not much had changed in here until this week, where I've removed the fuse board. So this is what I would call the study room, or maybe single bedroom. It can fit a double bed, but it's pretty small. So the old fuse board was there. I've removed that this week. The main reason I have moved that is because this wall is really worrying my plaster and I. You can literally push it, and you can see a huge crack here by the front door running the whole way down. So we think we're going to completely get rid of this and stud it off, have some stud work. So I didn't put my fuse board on the other side of that, and I was getting rid of that and relocating that anyway. So I've removed that this week, got rid of all the old cables and installed a new fuse board in a much better location. Coming through to the bathroom, again more plasterboarding, all the ceilings. We've taken this brickwork right back, so it was all over the place with protruding bricks. So we've had to chip all that off, and also this wall as well we've really chipped down, so this can now be dot and dabbed next week, ready for the plasterers. And we've got the moisture board on the ceiling. Again, you can see my marks where I'm eventually going to put some lights. I had a few dilemmas there because I really wanted to put 4 lights in there, but it didn't balance out with that very well. So I think I'm just going to go for 3. Made a little cubby hole here again. I'm going to put a light in that again, just as a nice little feature. An IP65 light, so it's waterproof. This will be the shower zone, so a cubby hole in there for your shampoos and things. And then over here, we're going to have an 800mm sink, because you've got a nice space in there with a mirror above, 2 lights either side, and a toilet here, leaving room for a freestanding bath here. Seems miles away at the moment, but windows in next week, plaster in on the Monday after the windows, so we should start to see some good changes. Coming into the master bedroom, unless you want to call the loft the master bedroom. So more dot and dabbing on these walls here. You can see the steel has begun to be boxed in by the pink plasterboard. And then you can see my insulation, my rigid insulation that's left over. Some of it's still got to be used, but that's what's left over, which I've got to sell because it is so phenomenally expensive. This bay window obviously being changed along with this square window, and then more plaster work here, radiator under here, room for the wardrobes there, and I'm also having a radiator on this wall, which is why I did have a socket there, but I've got rid of it because it didn't look right with socket and a Cat 6 there, radiator and a socket there with the door going. It just looked rubbish, so I got rid of that. And then the ensuite, again all boarded, moisture board on this one wall here. Eventually shower in this corner, toilet here, 600mm sink with a mirror here, light either side as well, which this cable is doing. And then this is another view of that insulation I've done in the rafters over here, which runs all the way down to this window, and then all the way down to that window in the bedroom I've already showed you, which was a terrible 5-hour job, but needs to be done for building control to be happy. And then this is the bit I do need to insulate, because this is a cold roof, not only in this bathroom ceiling itself, but also up there in that flat bit. And then we can put the ceiling on. Coming through to the snuggy room. So this is your living room, sort of a small living room. Not much has changed in here, but this wall is plastered. We've taken back more of this brickwork here. Like I say, everything was protruding, so we've done lots of chasing to get that nice and even to dot and dab. That wall is all insulated, and this one's going to be a bit of a nightmare. We're going to have to really build that wall out when we're dot and dabbing, because you can see the difference between the old wall and this brickwork, where this old coal fire was many years ago. And the plumber has a lot of work in here, because this sink is obviously coming out, as is the stopcock and all of the gubbins under there, and that old lead pipe up there as well. He has loads of work to do there, and then we can dot and dab that wall, and that window can go in next weekend once the scaffolding goes. Coming through what will be my favourite room. It's the kitchen diner, or kitchen living space and diner really, and the utility off of it. I'm treading carefully here, because one problem with having a lovely bifold like this but with no bifold in is we have foxes coming in every morning, and unfortunately my first job of the day is cleaning up fox poo, which you can probably see down there. Absolutely gross. So kitchen here, 2 full units in the corner, fridge, freezer and microwave oven there, all low units here with the sink dead center of that window, dishwasher next to the sink, all low units around there, and then wall units starting about here all the way around, leaving a little bit of a gap each side of the window, because I don't like boxing in windows and losing all of the light. And the utility room is actually a kind of similar shape to the kitchen, with 2 tall units in this corner, one housing the boiler, one being a nice big larder cupboard, and then low units all the way around here, including a washing machine, and all units up here as well, with a sink in the middle, which you can see the plumber's pipes there, and eventually the washing machine will be over there, where you can see one pipe coming up at the moment, but he still has to do a bit more work. So it's coming on nicely. I'm really pleased with the last few weeks, but I have much more exciting next 2 weeks in my opinion, because once the windows go in on Saturday week, it means the plasterer can start on the Monday. He's already booked in, and once the plasterer's been, it just becomes a whole new project, way more exciting. And I'm going to take advantage of bank holiday weekend sales this week, so I really recommend always doing that. Look for half-term deals, bank holiday deals. These websites always offer bank holiday deals, so I'm going to be ordering all of my tiles, all of my appliances for the kitchen, all of my bathroom products. So I got a really busy weekend of ordering, but really good to get some bargains. Usually get at least 10% off bank holiday, so hopefully I do. Thanks to everyone for watching and subscribing. Lots of nice comments on Instagram as well, which is 1936 Bungalow Renovation. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one once the windows are in and it's all plastered and it starts to look like an actual house. Thanks guys, bye.